You've been told since you were young that the #1 way to gain wealth in America is through home ownership. Look, I'm not against buying your American dream, but it's not what you think. First of all, I'm a mathematician. I look at the numbers, do the numbers, and behind the numbers. Buying a home is 30 years of very hard work, taxes, repairs, updates, fight with your wife or husband. Here are the top 5 reasons you should or should not buy a house. Number 5, tax deduction. If you watched my taxes video, you know that about 90% of Americans take their standard deduction on their taxes. This means the non-standard deduction, which is called itemized deduction, is no higher than the standard deduction. This is not an accounting video, but basically, your house is not saving you more in taxes compared to somebody who rents. Number 4, appreciation. The value of houses will appreciate and you can make money. Historically, your house can appreciate 2% to 7% per year, but a lot of that is inflation. And to maintain this rate of appreciation, you must keep up with repairs and maintenance. You can't just buy a house, not maintain it, and expect the same appreciation, right? You're going to lose money. And the real estate investors will buy it at a very low price, they'll rehab it, and sell at a huge profit. Over the years, I bought houses with rat poops everywhere, porn magazines everywhere, or even human skeleton in the basement. Yep, dead people in Baltimore. You know, your house is in bad shape when the termites start calling it junk food. Now seriously, how much should I expect to repair and update? Well, most homeowners will want to renovate the kitchens, bathroom, flooring, roof, siding, windows, AC, heat, etc. every 10 to 15 years. Each of these projects costs $10,000 to $20,000 today. So that's $60,000 to $120,000 every 10 to 15 years, or about $4,000 to $12,000 every year. That's about $666 every month for repairs. Oh, and taxes. Taxes vary from state to state, but the national average is around $200 a month. A very old lady lives on my street. She's very sweet. Everybody loves her. Her husband passed away a few years ago, and she lives alone now. She is the richest person in the neighborhood by a long shot, but she is property rich and cash poor. This sweet lady owns acres and acres of properties, but no one is buying them yet. Meanwhile, she has to pay property taxes, probably high 5 figures, and she cannot afford to maintain the properties. She could barely afford to get somebody to cut her grass in front of her own house. You probably would not want to be in her position one day. She's very wealthy, with very high net worth, but at the same time, she's poor. Would you call this an American dream? What do you think? Do you think she's rich or poor? Please comment below. Personally, I would much rather live in an apartment, focus on becoming a savvy investor, and buy her property for millions when the time is right. I could make millions in equity in just a few years. Welcome to real estate. Number 3, another factor to consider is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the cost of not doing something. For example, you may spend more time working on your own home than a renter would. You have to ask yourself this question: would you like to spend extra 5 hours this weekend working on your own home, or working to earn money, spending time with your family, or prepare for your next boxing fight? Everybody will have different preferences. Additionally, if you're not married, I have news for you. Many spouses are very particular about the home. They can become very possessive of it and expect the partner to work hard to make the home the best they can. Hard work plus 30 years of mortgage. I have many of my friends who rather stay at work, working overtime, than going home. Why? Because they don't want to work on their home. The man's home is his castle. It looks like a home, but it costs as much money and elbow grease as a castle. Number 2, savings. I like to look at buying a house more like a savings plan and a good way to show that you are credit worthy. It can help you go to the next level financially if you can leverage the equity of your house to borrow more. But it's not always required if you still save money and maintain good credit. That being said, be careful with credit. Credit cards are a great way to spend money you wish you had. And number 1 is renting. In this country, landlords are sometimes called housing providers. They're providing housing, a service for the renters. The housing provider has to pay for a mortgage, taxes, repairs, and to get rid of bad tenants. More often than not, they only make a few $100s a month if the tenant pays. And there are many situations where the landlord cannot charge enough to get proper return on equity. This is a term I can cover in future videos. At the end of the day, buying and renting are similar financially. The key difference is that you may put more cash and personal touches into a house you own to maintain the condition. In return, the extra money you put in will become part of equity, so you may not gain financially in the long run. The main difference between buying and renting a home is psychological. Peace of mind may be more important than the hassle and extra cash required to maintain a property. Guys, so you don't have to buy a house to become rich. You could be like Nancy, my neighbor, who's property rich and cash poor, and I don't think she's that rich, but let me know. If you're disciplined, you can save cash, and you learn how to become a good investor, you do not have to buy a house. But that's just my thought. Please comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button for more videos. Thank you.